In this video, we're going to look at how you can expand the power of 3 principle and use it to create good versions of your character's signature color. For example, this orange t-shirt for Torch. But before we go in and do this, let's just quickly go back and take a look at what we were doing with our power of 3 here. So in the power of 3 here, we used yellow and one color of green and the blue to create our foliage in the background like that. And it's created quite a nice misty watercolory effect in the background. Now, what if you wanted to deepen the greeniness? So we know that the yellow gives us light, the ultramarine navy gives us the depth of the shadows. What if you wanted a little bit more richness in your green, or in Torch's case, a little bit more richness in your orange? And you might know where we're going with this, because back in the palette section, creating a palette which just captures the colors that you want, we created a couple of different shades of the orange. So let's go and have a look at that palette. You'll remember that I got you to store, I recommended that if you got your power of 3 for a color, you've got your pure orange here, you've got your deeper shade, you've got your lighter shade, and you store them vertically like this so that they kind of are visually associated with each other for you. And what you do is similar to what we did with the green. Let's start with our palest color. So we'll go in with our watercolor brush, make sure that I have the right brush, and I'm going to have it at 20% opacity. And I'm going to have my brush size fairly high, zoom right in, and tapping in my color onto Torch. Oh, let's make sure I'm working in the right layer. Yeah, this layer will do. Okay, so I'm tapping in here to create pale color there. And then I'll go in and choose the deeper version, or the kind of the actual mid version. Still working with 20%. So here we go. And I'll tend to darken it at the far end. I'm assuming that the light is coming from beyond Rex, and that we're getting a deepening shadow here where his belly curves round and goes behind his arm. So we tap like this. And then we go in and pick up our darkest tone. Now remember, when I work with the darkest tone, I tend to go down to 10% because it's always quite strong and it builds up quickly. So then I just tap along this area here and into the corner, and that should do it for me. What I can then do is go in with my navy. So I'll pick that up, keeping the 10% going. I'll do this in a different layer. So on top, put my shadow in like this, reduce the size of my brush. I can put my shadow in along the base of the arm like this, or base of the belly and along the arm, and then probably round like this. And I might similarly go in and add in maybe a dash of sunshiny yellow. So let's pick up the lemon yellow from there and go back to 20% here. So I'm literally just putting some sort of sparkles of light on the front of his belly here to just give a sense of light sparkling off there. And then I can go and clean up. So let's take my round brush, get it to a reasonable size. First I'm going to clean up in this layer because then I can see clearly what I'm doing. So cleaning up. Okay, cleaning. Cleaning. Clean up Rex's toes. And then back into this layer to just take the shadow off. Pick up the bits and bobs which I seem to have left around. And that gives you a decent shadow. So simple process, light to dark. So starting off with the lightest, building the midtones, going to the deepest color along this curve of the belly, then going in the layer on top, adding in my navy blue at 10% for the shadow, and then cleaning it all up afterwards. So that is how you build the signature shade with your expanded power of 3. We've still got a lighter color, so I used the sunny yellow, I used the deep blue for the deepest shadow, but then I used 3 different versions of my orange in between. Let me just pull up my orange. So the true orange, the lighter shade, the darker shade, and that is your expanded power of 3.